Okay, let's talk about how to add your employees and how to manage them inside the system. So this is a quick and easy one. So at some point, you're going to be ready to start adding your employees to the system and have them start using it. So what we're going to go over today is how to add them manually, how to import them, and then we're going to talk about permissions. So first of all, adding employees is just like adding any other company contacts. So the way that you import and add company contacts for, let's say, your customers is the same method that you'll use to add employees to your company. So from your homepage, you'll be able to see the company that you work for, or your company. Let's just click on that. So here's your company. I don't like what's going on with the logo and stuff, but you get the idea. So under the contacts section of your company, you can see all of the company contacts for this company. These are all the people that are in the system that work for Demo Company. You can click on any of these company contacts to bring up their personal page, and you can edit them using the edit button, or you could just hover over and hit edit. So let's talk about all the information on this page. I'm not going to hit everything because some of it is just so self-explanatory, including this information here. The about information appears at the top of their page. So if I were to put some about information and save, you can see that it inserts this about information. This is handy for information that you always want to see when you come to their page. Please read this information about hourly wage and weekly salary. These numbers are used in the cost tracking, job costing sections of the site, and in certain reports. Tags are something that appear over and over in the site. It's basically just a way for you to group a bunch of things into one. So if you tag this person or this company contact in different sections of the site, you'll be able to filter and find different tags or different groups of people. So let's say you wanted to create an announcement for a certain line in your shop, or let's say the office crew. You could tag this person as office crew and later send out an email to only the office crew. And just like everything else, they can have multiple tags. They can be office crew, lives outside the city, likes Diet Pepsi, blah, blah, blah. This is all self-explanatory. Let's get down to the user account information. So in order for a person to log in, this has to be checked. They'll need a username that has to be 6 characters long, and you can either have the system generate a password for them or generate your own. For security reasons, you cannot view passwords, but you can change and confirm them. As a personal setting, you can have the system remind you via text and email about tasks and announcements. And let's talk about permissions. Every single company contact in the site has permissions. So whether these are your employees, your customers, administrators, bosses, whatever, these permissions lock them in and out of different features and parts of the site. You don't want new hires able to edit any time card in the system. You also don't want them importing data and messing with the system in general. So make sure you read through these permissions in the different sections so that you can understand them and know which ones you want to give to different parts of your company. You want to make sure that you set the defaults with fairly few permissions, ones that you're comfortable giving to just about any new employee. And from there, add permissions manually as that person works their way up in your organization and gains trust. The green highlighted boxes show you which ones are defaulted as having that permission. Checking the box obviously makes sure that that permission is added, and Xing it in red makes sure that they can't have it. When you're done setting the permissions, just go ahead and submit. So let's talk about the different ways to add employees. If your company has 5 employees, then I would suggest that you just add them manually. You can do this just by going to Contacts and Add Company. You can also do it up here by going to Company Contacts and Add New. The other way you can do this, especially if you have a big company, is you can just import. And make sure to watch the other classes on importing data because it works just the same way. Download the company contact template to see the data that we're looking for. So the first step you would do is just select Company Contacts, select whether you want it to send an email automatically or not, and just choose the file. Once you upload it, you'll match the fields, making sure the company field, this company name and ID are the same as your company. Now you can find that name and ID by going to your company, there's the name, and if you look at the URL, there is the ID. There'll be a number right there. Typically for you, it's going to be 1 since you're the first company in here. So as long as you import your people with the matching company name and ID and match the fields correctly, submitting the import will pull all those people into your company. Also pay special attention to the username, password, and can log in fields. The can log in uses 1s and 0s for yeses and no. So if you want these employees to be able to log in as soon as you import this, make sure sure to give them usernames, passwords, and proper status in the can log in section. A 1 will signify yes, they can log in, and a 0 will signify no, they cannot. Now, as a matter of strategy, I would suggest adding employees as a pretty early step. You can start using the time tracking, time card, and CRM functions of the site. Before your customers, you'll need to be familiar with how to navigate and take care of problems before your customers see them. And the more eyes, the better. Adding employees to the system is a great way to do a mini launch for some of these features. So now it's your turn. Add a few employees manually by going here, here, and here. Add them to your company, and then use the importer to import some. Try just a few at a time to get familiar with it. If you mess up, you can always delete them. So go ahead and give this a try. After you get some employees in there, it's important to note that the very first time you fill out this information, you won't see some of the options until you click allow this person to log in. And at that point, you'll see this information. After saving the company contact, then you'll have access to all the permissions. So once you get a few employees in, play around with the permissions to get an idea of how they restrict and allow certain parts of the site. Get in, get your hands dirty, and go to work.